That black sedan around 3:10 a.m. was not the only vehicle out there lurking around the home of Sebastian Rogers in the wee hours between February 25th and 26th, 2024. There was the back end of a red car, sports car, captured in the footage, and I show it to you here, and we are going to discuss it. Look at that red car. See that back end? What kind of car is that? Who drives it? Why was it there? This is the same image that I shared with you on the last video, and if you missed it, I'll take it to the end. Please go back and watch it. I'm going to be referencing some of it. Here is the taillights we referenced in the last video. Here is the face we discussed, which was the focus of that video. And then I want to share something more with you. I had left this part out for you. When I was looking at this photo with a friend, and she uses binoculars and I don't have them, so I have to kind of look at the obvious, I noticed the red lights. Then I thought, well, wait a minute, that's red tail lights. And then I thought, well, there's red over here. Are those tail lights? Well, then I looked even closer, and my friends, those aren't tail lights. That is the back end of what looks to be a red sports car. Could that be a red Camaro? Wow, you asked, because red Camaros come into this case a little bit. It was in the parking lot during the sighting at the Motel 6 in Goodlettsville. It's been brought up a few times. People have contacted me regarding that vehicle. Also, there's another red sports car that resides in the neighborhood. We're not accusing anyone. We're just going over cars. But why is there another car there with the dark sedan? Why has it never been mentioned? Does police know what vehicles those are? And that's why they haven't appealed to the public to help identify these cars? I hope so. So let's take a look, because I know it's hard. You know how I'm the worst at seeing things. So I'm going to walk you through it, okay? Some of you asked me to outline the face from our last video. Here it is. Inside here is where you'll see that face. Now, it's probably closer up because this vehicle is pulling away, right? So it's further down. Now, also, these are the tail lights of this, what I believe is the black sedan, right? And then looky over here, the back end of what appears to be a sports car. All happening that evening. And we know it happened because not only was it discussed, whispered about at the command center, watched about at the command center. We knew that footage existed. The neighbors knew it existed. The one who filmed it knew it existed. We knew the flashlights weren't trash trucks. So let's ask ourselves why. Well, first of all, because investigations we are not privy to. That's what we were hoping is the answer why. Second of all, could it be that law enforcement just didn't notice anything? The story goes when Nick Barris leaked the flashlight video, he told a source who told me along the lines of Craddock was mad because they hadn't seen it yet or didn't have it yet, one or the other. But that was weeks in. They saw it. I know they saw it. They saw it day one at the command center, sources tell me. So they were upset because, in my opinion, it's not that they didn't want that to come out because it was a trash truck and of no evidentiary value. It didn't come out, in my opinion, because it wasn't meant to come out, in my opinion, for some reason. Could have been an investigative reason. But have they identified the owner of both these vehicles? Do they have the license plates? Have they interviewed these people? Because this looks like evidentiary important information to me. This is nothing going on. This is not a trash truck, is it? So again, here's the tail lights. Here's the back end of the red sports car. And here's that face we studied in the last video. So let's take it again. The tail lights, the front of the face, and the back end. Now here I've enlarged the red for you. You could clearly see it's a back end. Here's the tires. Here's the license plate. Okay. Now, question is, what kind of car is this? Okay, you can see from the image, it's outside. You've got the cloud, the skies. We've got our face. We've got this car driving away, this car in a different direction. Okay, and the back end. What kind of car do you think this is? Look at, you could see it so clearly here. Looks like a sports car to me. Some of you asked me to draw on the face. Here's the hair on the top. This is where it's shaved. Here's the ear. Here's the eye, the nose, the mustache, and the beard and the chin. You can compare it to this. And there's that back end. There it is again. Let's look at some cars. So here it is again. Looks like a Camaro. Some thought a Charger, being that that's one that's in the neighborhood as well. So I put a Charger up and a Camaro. What I noticed is a Charger has this rounded upwards. Oops, sorry, y'all. Oops, let me go back. Rounded upwards. This one is not rounded upwards. To me, if it were one of these two cars, it would be a Camaro, more so, but I'm not saying it is. For you car enthusiasts, let me know what kind you think that back end is. Here it is again. Then you have to look at it, this white. Is that white stripes? Just, is it a reflection? Could it be white stripes? Again, here's the face. Here's the face. Just the tail lights caught right there a little bit while we zoomed in. Here it is again. You got your tires. There's the plate. What kind of car do you think that is? And it brings up so many questions. So many questions to me. We know it's not trash trucks. We know this was seen at the command post. We know that they knew this did indeed exist. When Nick Barris had put out the flashlights, in my opinion, Craddock wasn't upset because they hadn't seen it or didn't have it, because they did see it at the command center and they did have it there, sources say. I think they were upset because it was not supposed to come out for investigative purposes or some other reason. I have no idea. Okay. And then it came out. So instead of saying to the public, yes, there is footage, and we, for investigative reasons, won't be sharing anything except for, could you help identify this car, that car, or we're not going to discuss it. But instead they went the trash truck route. That trash trucks go four-wheeling behind the house, even though the very last chore Sebastian Rogers did at home was take the trash to the front of the house, end of the driveway. Does that make sense? No. Make it make sense. It brings up so many questions. Did Ellie track this red car? It's a back end, license plate there. You got readers all over Hendersonville, Sumner County. Did they track this black sedan? Do they know who the drivers are? Do they know what vehicles those are? Is that why it was not in the Amber Alert description? The red car or the sedan? Now we have two cars that could have been in that description, and the public putting eyes out for them. Why was that not happening? The only answer could be law enforcement didn't need that because they knew the vehicles. They were identified. Otherwise, you would appeal to the public during an Amber Alert. We see vehicle descriptions all the time. So why was the sedan in the red car not description given to the public? There's back ends, there's plates. They should be visible, right? And then buckle up, my friends. I have a question. You're not going to believe my questions coming up. Hit notification bell. I will be live tomorrow, and we are going to discuss what I'm about to bring forth. 3 more questions. Why did law enforcement lead investigators show up at when Goodlettsville police were called due to an altercation with the owner of the red Camaro at the Motel 6? Indeed. That happened. Why did he say that he ran the plates of the red Camaro and that it was not the owner we know it to be? Name confirmed and verified, by the way. Why would he tell her that? Why would he mislead her, allegedly? Why did the lead investigator of Sebastian's case tell her to leave and mind her own business? She did not feel protected. She said she'll never go near that motel again. By the way, when he pulled up, the story goes, well, I'll tell you the story tomorrow, but this indeed happened, according to my source. And there should be a police report, right? And I did report it, by the way. And there should be a police report about this, right? At the motel. Indeed. Well, the lead investigator showed up. Goodlettsville was called. Altercation at the Motel 6 in Goodlettsville. It was the owner of the red Camaro and another individual. Then the lead investigator said he ran the plates and it wasn't the person that we know it to be. And why did he tell her to leave and mind her own business? All very odd, in my opinion. Now, I can't confirm that happened, but I believe her. I did report it. So hit that notification bell, please. I will be live tomorrow. We're going to talk about the car. We're going to talk about the back end, what kind of car you think it might be. Why is all this going on outside the home? Why has nothing been discussed, pleading to the public, talking about their safety? None of it. Why isn't Sebastian being discussed? What is going on in Sumner County, and what in the world is going on outside Sebastian Rogers' home in Hendersonville in Sumner County? And why in the world has none of this been addressed, including that Sebastian is still missing? Why is it trying to be swept under the rug that he is not home yet? Why is it campaigns being run and elections happening and campaigning going on, all without mentioning a very important citizen who is not home? Let's talk about that tomorrow. Keep keeping on. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you.